The story's not really about words. It's really about pictures. Because we watch it in our minds as it happens.
But they don't use the whole trail. No, they walk right on the edge. And they're so big around, you look down and you can't see the ground. You just look down your own leg, and when it runs out about 30 inches later, you just keep looking 800 feet straight down to the Colorado River. Now, you can look past their necks and watch their feet working, but I'm going to tell you that doesn't help. Those mules got this thing all figured out. They know how to take a step and make it look like they're going to miss the trail. And then at the last possible moment, they put it back on there again. After you've watched that 3 or 4 times, you don't need to see that anymore.
Well, you can make a report as soon as something happens, because as soon as it's over, you can tell someone where you were, who was there, and what happened. Period, the end. The report is made. But it's not a story until there's some kind of awareness of what was learned.
Welcome to the 4th Annual PowellsWood Storytelling Festival. This is another repeat of what we've done in the past. We bring some of the best tellers to tell with us here in this garden.
Okay, now as you're feeling yourself on this day in this place, I want you, starting from the inside, starting from your spirit, as you're walking, to feel what it's like at 5 years old. Put your 5-year-old spirit in yourself. I think that a good story has several things going on at once. You've got the story that you're telling, the event, and then you have what's underneath, what the story's about. Nabokov said that a good story has 3 things. It's entertaining, it's teaching, and it has enchantment. And that third thing is the mystery that makes it work. It's the unspoken. It's why an oral story holds something that a written story cannot hold. It's that mystery that happens inside, that little something, something. They call it the langnap in Cajun cooking, that something, something that keeps you coming back.
A storyteller has a responsibility to the participants because you wouldn't be a storyteller without your story listeners. A responsibility to the story itself, because if you don't respect the story and do your best to share it, then the story fades away and dies. And to the storyteller's heart. If you don't enjoy what you're doing, then you need to stop doing it, because you can't connect with your audience. And the whole aspect of storytelling that keeps it going for centuries is its empathy, its connection, the communication that comes with it.
Little girl said, "Grandma, that's not a ghost story. That's a mushy story. I want a ghost story." Grandma sighed again. "I'll tell you about the time the devil came to the back door. He was disguised as an insurance salesman. But I knew who he was in that suit, and I had just been baking some apple pies, and you know apple pies is a blessing. So I picked up one of those hot apple pies. I knew it would do him some damage, and I threw that hot apple pie toward that man in that insurance man's suit. Grandma, that's not a ghost story. That's a goofy story. Throwing hot apple pies at people."
I would have to say my storytelling style is personal style, personal narrative to the most part, but I try to combine in Greek myths when I can, different stories from different places. And a lot of it's from the Midwest, mostly Minnesota, mostly my home. And it's a lot of family stories, I'd say, is what I focus on.
And now the third baseman starts to taunt me. "You old man and body old and weak, you will never take this one. I love this victory. When my brother steps to the plate, my brother truly the son of our father, my brother sturdy as an oak. Our third base coach, wise old sage, gives me good counsel. 2 outs, run on anything." And as my brother swings, I run with all I have down that path well worn by past warriors until a man ruddy complexion blocks my plate. I smash into the man, sending man and orb flying. And then Zeus, Lord of this flat land, Zeus disguised in mask and armor, Zeus proclaims me safe at home. Oh, how the heady wine did flow.
Thank you. It's not about that I drum or I mime or I juggle or I use puppets. That's not what it is about. What it is about is, what does the story need? First of all. Then when I bring that story to the audience, does the audience need that story? Or do they need another story? So my job as a storyteller is to bring a set of stories that I feel suit that audience the best. If I am tuned to that relationship, then I can succeed.
She always had treats, and he would eat right off her hand until it tickled. Hey, 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 hey. And then his favorite part, Didi would take her time grooming him, making him look handsome again. And when he was looking nice and smooth, her favorite part was to lean against his ribs ever so gently and move up and down with each breath Alazon took. And sometimes when she listened hard enough, just close enough, she could hear his heart beating deep in there. Oh.
So you have to listen to the story. What is this energy that comes from the story? How can I best serve it?
Make it a little bit bigger, but still keep it flat, right in front of your body. Yeah. You have to believe in it, okay? If I don't believe in it, where's my wall? There's no wall. Once I believed in it, all of a sudden, here it is, okay? That's the power of imagination. Everybody say imagination.
Humor is what connects people. So instead of being too serious or over the head like didactic, I like to use lots of humor to connect myself, the audience, and the story with the rest of the world. I always say, inside every American, there is a Japanese woman. You're just lucky that we're so small.
Oh no, Chio. Don't be ridiculous. Come on, we are a family. You can pass gas if you like. Go ahead and let it go. Are you sure? Oh, well, with your kind permission then, I think I will. Excuse me, my dear mother-in-law. And Chio stood up and lifted her kimono and let it go. What followed was a tempest of biblical magnitude. The roof was gone. The walls crumbled. The furniture's broke into bits. The mother-in-law flew away. And the chickens and the pigs and the neighbors' children, they all swirled around all over the village.
Well, in a place like PowellsWood, the storytellers are very much like bees because they swarm from tent to tent. They swarm from teller to teller. And while they're swarming with each other. I used to go with my grandfather to follow the bees to their tree. And they go around, and they never stop until they're fully loaded. And when they're fully loaded, they go straight to the tree. And so we would watch bees working in the clover, and when one would take off in a direction, we knew when we could spot that direction, it was going straight to the tree. And sometimes here you'll see somebody say in the afternoon, an hour before it's over, head toward their car. And it's like they've heard all they can ingest for the day. It's not that they need to go somewhere, it's not that they're upset about something, they're full of pollen, they're loaded, their day's been filled. And so they're headed back to their nest. So that's an interesting parallel to think about because it is very much that way.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Sorry about that. Dropped another one. If you've seen me drop this before, just bear with me. If you don't, well.